Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. And, well, today I'm going to be talking about this whole War Games, or Survivor Series War Games LA Knight debacle that is once again hit the news cycle here in wrestling news. And what I'm hearing, basically. So, a lot of people are upset about potentially LA Knight not being in the men's War Games at Survivor Series. The War Games match for Survivor Series, basically, for the men's side. Considering that he's been basically feuding with, the Vision for like 6 months. And he's not going to be in there. They randomly put Cody Rhodes in this War Games match, and a lot of people are questioning why this is going on. And so I want to talk about this because I was trying to dig as much as I could to understand what was going on, because I'm really frustrated with how LA Knight has been used the past couple of weeks. He has not been on Raw. Well, technically he was on Raw last week, but only for the international market for a promo that got cut out. That got cut off or whatever. So outside of that, he hasn't wrestled for Raw for 3 straight weeks. 3 straight weeks. He wrestled on SmackDown last Friday against Zack Ryder. But Zack Ryder, I mean, look, I know a lot of people like Matt, but let's face it, Zack Ryder's a jobber. Okay? He's a jobber. Okay? Excuse me. He's a jobber. Okay? Matt Carbonio, he's done stuff for himself on the indies, but, he's never going to be a top guy in WWE. The fact that they put him as Zack Ryder proves that, since he didn't feel like Zack Ryder should be the guy that he plays as anymore. He felt that that character is dead, but yet they brought him back as Zack Ryder. That just tells you what they think of him. Okay. LA Knight beats him, which is obvious, but now he has to go up against Jey Uso, who he's already lost one match to. So, take that for what it's worth as my confidence with WWE allowing LA Knight to win that match, okay, against Jey Uso this time. But let's get to War Games here. So, I had to dig around, asked a couple people. This is what I've heard. And this is the story I heard, and I hate this. But basically what I've heard is that LA Knight was originally supposed to be in the War Games, but because of Seth Rollins' injury, that changed everything. Didn't just change the world title picture. So, what I heard is the Saturday night's main event match that Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes had was supposed to be the match they had at Survivor Series for the championship, one-on-one. But because of Seth Rollins' injury at Crown Jewel, which then, of course, as we all know, the next night they did the injury angle with the Vision betraying him, and then that led to the vacated World Championship match between Jey Uso and CM Punk, which Punk won to become the world champion. However, Seth Rollins was supposed to be in the Survivor Series match with the Vision. He was still supposed to be healed. They weren't supposed to double cross him and whatnot. Drew McIntyre was supposed to have his match against Cody in a no disqualification, if you get disqualified or counted out, you win the championship stipulation. That match was supposed to be at Survivor Series, which would have taken them both out of the War Games match, okay, because they would have been in a one-on-one match, okay. Because of Seth's injury, that derailed everything, and that forced them to do the Cody and Drew match at Saturday night's main event. That's, if you remember, they did the SmackDown match, right? The SmackDown random title match that they did, which basically sped up the feud. That SmackDown match was supposed to happen at Saturday night's main event. They weren't supposed to have a title match that early, but they sped everything up because of Seth Rollins' injury. Because of that, that led to Cody having to have his match early with Drew at Saturday night's main event as the blow-off, and then they now are in the War Games match. Drew being a part of the Vision, even though he's not actually a member of the Vision, he's just basically joining the Vision, a part of War Games, and Cody basically joining, Punk's team, basically. That's basically why they're doing this. And that's how LA Knight got kicked out of this match. Because by Cody being in this match, they had to kick somebody out. And that's why LA Knight, I guess, randomly faced Braun Breaker. Because after that, we haven't seen him on Raw since. Which is very unfortunate because it just fucked up LA Knight's plans again. And it basically, once again, ruined LA Knight having to drop another match to another heel character. It really hurts LA Knight because LA Knight hasn't gotten that decisive win. And now we see why they're doing this. They're putting him in the tournament, right? They're putting him in the damn tournament, hyping everybody up. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to win the tournament, guys. I'm definitely going to be the one who faces John Cena, right? Where have we seen this before? Every fucking time. Money in the Bank 2023. Money in the Bank 2024. Money in the Bank 2025. Okay? Him going up against Punk. Hype him up, right? Oh yeah, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna be the one that faces John Cena. And then we freaking make him lose at the end. He's probably gonna lose to Jey Uso because that's who he's supposed to face next, right? And if he does beat Jey Uso, he's probably not going to win the whole thing anyways because you got to worry about Gunther now. Because Gunther's back with some new theme music. So now you got Gunther because if I'm remembering correctly, like 6 months ago or 7 months ago, they said that Gunther was supposed to be John Cena's last match. That was like something that was reported on the dirt sheets like 7 months ago. That Gunther was going to be his last opponent. And now he's back from his injury or whatever. He, I guess, had some type of nose injury or something, which is why they did the whole angle with him at SummerSlam with Punk, where, by him getting knocked on the announcement table, that busted open his, nose. But in reality, his nose was already, I guess, injured or something. But that was just a way to, write it off in the storyline, even though he's not going for CM Punk. He's not, he didn't address it or anything like that. It's like, Punk is now the world champion again. You'd think he would be addressing it, but apparently not. Yeah, that's what I heard. That is what I heard about this. I look, I hate it. I think it's stupid. It's like, because Punk's team Team Punk, right, is only him and Cody, and then everybody else is bloodline guys. You know, you got Jimmy, you got Jay, you got Roman, okay? Which I'm still trying to figure out Roman, because Roman had some like he had like a sleeve over his one arm or whatever. He had a sleeve over his arm. Like like his arm did look a little smaller than normal. I am kind of worried about him because like I know Roman has the you know, he had the cancer issue. And I am kind of worried because I was like thinking like, why is his arm so I hope he's okay. Because that did get me worried when I saw the sleeve thing on there. I don't know, maybe that's just something new he's doing. I don't know, but that did get my attention. When he wore the one long sleeve arm on his one arm, but didn't wear it on the other. It's like something implying that he's trying to cover something there. So I hope I'm just, overthinking that, and it's just a new fashion look for him, but that's just something he's never done in his career. So it just seems kind of awkward to see that. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm hearing. Like, I just think, what they're doing to LA Knight is just ridiculous. And it just doesn't seem like it's going to stop, man. It just doesn't seem like it's going to ever stop. I mean, we're at the point of like, what are we doing here? 3 years? How much more longer are we going to wait with him being over as he is? And we're just going to be like, yeah, we're going to just have these other guys come in. Like, it gets to the point is, when does LA Knight get his spot? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like he's made his own spot, but then it's like, we're going to be like, oh yeah, but you're not a mainstay guy, so we shove you aside for other people, even though he's still massive. That's what they're doing. It's fucking ridiculous. I still maintain to this day that he should have won Money in the Bank the first time in 2023. He should have won it. Because if you look at Damian Priest, what is he doing today? Is he a world champion again? Is he a world champion contender? No, he is not, and he never will be. I guarantee you Priest will never be a world champion again. His title reign flopped. He flopped as champion. All right. And the problem is the reason why he won Money in the Bank was because it was supposed to be a testing ground. See, this is the problem with WWE today, is that they give a lot of these wrestlers the title when they're not ready for it. Priest was not ready to be world champion. Okay? He was not ready to be world champion at that time. Some of these other wrestlers, they get it as a testing ground to see if they can be champion long term. But at the same time, you're wasting the audience time on a test ground that they don't deserve at that point. That was when LA Knight should have won. Okay? And we're still like, when is he gonna win it? When is he going to win it? Every time. Nobody's turned their backs on LA Knight. Nobody has lost interest. They can't use that argument. But yet you still move him down, and I still believe the sign thing is why he's not been on television, okay, as often as he should have been. Especially when you have a spot like that, okay? You're being cheered all the time. People believe in you as a wrestler, and yet you are still being mistreated by management. Okay? There's no argument that can be made anymore. There's nothing WWE can do to like say that, oh, he didn't earn it, he didn't deserve it. How can you say that when the fans are cheering for him, they're buying his merchandise, he's doing everything that meets the criteria of your business operation, and you're still not giving him that spot. You're hanging on to the other guys. You know, it's so weird because I said in the last time we talked about this, I said that they're doing a lot of what Vince did. You know, I mean, they're booking differently than Vince, but they're doing the whole mindset of, well, we got these guys, so we're just going to keep doing these guys, and we're going to keep draining that. You know, I've heard rumors now that we're going to have, there's been a lot of WrestleMania rumors, but the one of the recent ones I've heard now is Brock versus Braun Breaker. Brock Lesnar versus Braun Breaker, that Brock Lesnar's gonna double cross the Vision in War Games. I'm hearing that now. What is that gonna do exactly? Is Brock gonna put over Braun? I don't think he is. I don't think Braun's gonna win that match if he goes up against Brock. I mean, Brock's 48 years old, okay, but he still looks like a top guy. I mean, he just beat the crap out of John Cena, okay, multiple times. He just beat the crap out of John Cena, okay? Essentially squashed him, okay? And you're going to tell me that you're going to have Brock lose to Braun Breaker? I don't see it happening. I've heard Roman. I've heard Roman versus Punk. I don't think it should be Roman versus Punk. I mean, they already did a triple threat together. I mean, I don't like repeat matches, okay? Repeat opponents every year at WrestleMania. I want to see someone new. I know they had to do with Cody and Roman. You know, they had to do Cody Roman because Vince McMahon made the decision at the time to not have Cody win against Roman at 39 like he should have. But we need new match. We need new main event matches every year. We can't, for WrestleMania. We can't just keep doing the same main events every year. Okay? Can't be doing the same. It should be LA Knight versus Punk. It should be. That should be the main event. But WWE's fantasy booking will never allow it. Unfortunately. I mean, we're talking about the same company that literally had a storyline for LA Knight for last year's WrestleMania where he was playing. The story was hot potato over the U.S. title. All right. Wasn't even a properly built match, okay, between him and Jacob Fatu. It was hot potato for the U.S. title. I win the U.S. championship. Jacob Fatu pissed off because, he stole the pin from me in the triple threat. And so now I'm going to be the number one contender for the championship. Now, they had a great match. That was the best match of night one. I think it was even better than the triple threat in terms of match quality. It was the first match that got people into that night. But in terms of the storyline, it was terrible. And the wrong guy won. I don't think Jacob Fatu should have won that match. I think LA Knight should have won it. As good as Jacob Fatu is, LA Knight needed that win for the momentum better than Jacob Fatu did. Jacob Fatu could have won it the next month. I think that was the wrong decision. But of course, again, WWE being WWE, they don't care because they don't want to push LA Knight. So in a greater world, it would have been LA Knight's win, but of course, WWE management doesn't want him to win. And that's the problem. He is the guy that gets cut out. He gets cut out even though he shouldn't be cut out. He should not be cut out over Jacob Fatu, or he should not be cut out over, other guys, with the whole Cody thing, if that's true, which I believe to a certain extent that has to be true because it's like, what else is there? What else is there? I mean, Seth Rollins being injured was a big blow to whatever they were planning because obviously, Punk winning the world title this early wasn't probably supposed to happen. Now, we've heard different reports for WrestleMania, but the earlier reports were that it was supposed to be Seth Rollins versus CM Punk for the world champion. I had heard that Punk was possibly going to win the Rumble. Again, not exactly sure, but then again, we know that Punk was originally supposed to win the Rumble last year, according to the, stupid Netflix show, that he was originally supposed to win the Rumble. So, I mean, it can't put it past us to think that at this point. But it's just a really unfortunate situation. You know, Punk winning the world title is a great moment, but I'd really like to know where they're gonna go with it, at this point. You know, um, Survivor Series, once they get past that, he's gonna have to defend the title against somebody going after Gunther, Braun Breaker. Like, he's gonna have to have an opponent at some point before WrestleMania, assuming he holds on to it until WrestleMania, which I do believe he will hold on to WrestleMania. Some people will think he's gonna lose it at the Rumble. No. It's too close to Mania season for you to be like, yeah, we're gonna go with someone else. This close to Mania. You got a guy like Punk as champion. You're gonna have a lot of merchandise. A lot of stuff with him as champion. It would be really dumb on WWE's part to take that title off of him. Close to WrestleMania, and we know that management likes Punk, which I thought I would never say that 15 years ago, because obviously management hated Punk 15 years ago. It's so weird that we're in a time where Punk's actually being respected as a wrestler now and as a main eventer, because I mean, Punk, he's on the covers, he's on the stuff that he should have been on during his first run in WWE. His first run in WWE, especially during that main event push, the main event years, 2011 to 2014, those years, even though he was the champion, he was never really main eventing most of the time, on the pay-per-views. Barely on the covers, even when he went through all that. He didn't get his ice cream bars, and then, of course, WWE did bring back the ice cream bars, it was years after he had left. Okay, now we're seeing Punk actually, he's literally with all the top guys for the WrestleMania promotional thing, with Cody, with Roman, with Brock. He is literally on the same footing as those guys, which, 15 years ago he wasn't. He was right up there with John Cena, creatively as the champion, but WWE didn't see him as the guy that was at the same level as a John Cena. Okay? Certainly wouldn't believe he was in the same level as a Roman Reigns. Okay? And now he is literally on the same level as those guys. Okay? He is on the same level as those guys now. Okay? And it's so weird seeing it now that WWE is finally, appreciating Punk. I think that primarily is due to the fact of what he did with AEW, because, he made AEW relevant in terms of the $1 million gates. AEW was never getting $1 million gates until Punk came to AEW. Vince saw that, Triple H saw that, and TKO, the new owner, saw that. And TKO, when they took over, they brought him back because they recognize star power. Because that's all TKO cares about, is they care about star power. That's literally all TKO cares about at this point, is they care about star power. It's very unfortunate, but that's kind of what I wanted to cover. I keep telling people, hashtag we want LA Knight, because that's the only thing we got to keep doing. We got to keep shoving it down their throats, man. We got to keep shoving it down their throats until they do something. But yeah, that's it. Comment, rate, flex if you're in my videos. Please subscribe. Hit the notification bell for the latest content. Thank you. That's about it, guys. I am the Ultimate Goku Moderator. Peace.